If you've ever thought, am I too old for this, or is it too late for me to start something new? The answer is no. Before I get into it though, I'll just let you know that I am starting something new myself. I bought some gouache paints, which are watercolor, not the acrylic gouache, but the water-based ones. And I bought a new palette and I'm putting them together while I talk. So that's what's going on here. But it is never too late to start something new. And today I'm going to share 7 reasons that I've come up with why you're not too old no matter how old you are. I mean, sometimes you can be a teenager and think I'm too old, but nobody's ever too old to try something new. And I've also come up with some fun and exciting ideas to inspire you, just no matter where you are in life. The number one reason is your brain loves a challenge. Your brain is wired to grow and adapt, and they found this they used to think that how your brain was like concrete, but it's not the case. And brain scientists have discovered it's called neuroplasticity, and it means you can learn new skills at any time. You can develop imagination, you can spark creativity, and you can improve memory just by trying something different. So here are a few ideas that will help you do that. Learn a musical instrument, such as the piano. Some musical instruments take a long time to be proficient at, but others don't. If you want to learn to play the piano well, that can take some years or a lot of lessons. Or you could learn the guitar by watching YouTube videos. Pick up a new language with an app like Duolingo. Or go to a country and take a workshop. Or go to a college and take a class. Try things like solving puzzles and learning chess. Every time you challenge yourself, you're keeping your brain sharp and vibrant, and that is a great thing. Another reason is new passions can add joy. Life isn't just about routines, it's about joy and happiness, and exploring something new might unlock a passion you never knew you had. You can take up painting or sketching, which I highly recommend. Not only does it add joy, but it also gives your brain a challenge to work in different ways. You can try gardening or growing herbs, and if you don't have a space to garden, you can still garden with houseplants or on a balcony or in rented spaces if that's something that interests you. You can explore cooking, cuisines you've never tried. Years ago, I decided that the cooking that I grew up with was my mother's style and what I was taught. So I took an international cooking class and learned to do all kinds of different dishes, which was so fun. So think about it this way. You might just find that hobby that you can't wait to wake up for. Number 3 is you gain confidence. Every time you try something new or step out of your comfort zone, you're proving to yourself that you can do hard things, and that's empowering. Go hiking on a new trail. Now, I am not into hiking. It's just not that interesting to me. And of course, if you are into hiking, like where I live, I'm surrounded by mountains and bears actually come down into town sometimes. So one of the reasons I'm not that crazy about hiking is I don't want to go face to face with a bear. But if that's your thing, be happy doing it. Take a dance class, salsa, ballroom, ballet. In fact, dance is one of the things I've always loved, and exercise, like on a gym, is not. I've never liked playing sports. I've never enjoyed that kind of thing, partly because I had problems with severe allergies when I was younger. You have to look at your life and go, does this work for me? I tried sailing when a friend had a sailboat, and I thought, you know what, it's fun, but a couple of times was enough. Sometimes you know just by knowing yourself whether something is really exciting for you. And sometimes you have to try it to find out if you like it. I also tried scuba diving. Well, I entered a contest or something, and I won a scuba class for 2. So my husband and I did it together. It was like a 2-hour drive away from here, but we said, okay, we're going to do it. We'll go take this class and we'll see if we like it. He loved it, but he can't float because he has no fat on his body. And I can't sink because apparently I have enough. But it was a very interesting time. I decided it wasn't for me. However, I've been looking for a dance class for adults for a long time, and just last week I found one. I found a ballet class for ladies over 50 or 60 or whatever, and I am so excited, you can't believe it, because I get to do something I love and get in shape doing something I love. So that's trying something new. You could try public speaking or join a local club like Toastmasters. I did that one year when I just wanted to become more confident with speaking in public and see if I liked it. And I found the training was excellent, and I actually enjoyed the group a lot. And I took more training. I was doing presentations for a different part of my business at the time, but I thought maybe I'll just go into being more of a speaker. But what I discovered after doing a few appearances was that although I was good at it and I got good feedback and everything else, it just wasn't a thrill for me. I kind of didn't care whether I stood up in front of people and talked. But I found out by actually trying it. You'll be amazed at how these small steps can build big confidence. And now I have no problem at all standing up in front of a crowd and talking. So I'm really glad I did that. Number 4 is you will meet new people. Trying new things often means connecting with others who share your interests. And this is especially important as we get older and our social circles change, which is really an important point because sometimes you leave a group because it all changes. And here's a good example. I was in a book group in my local town for 22 years. I was one of the founding members, and I was the last to leave, who had stayed for the entire time. And the reason that the group folded was because about 80% of them moved away, and suddenly there was just nobody to do it anymore. And so there was quite a big change in my social circle because I lost a whole bunch of acquaintances and friends and even a relative because of that change. So I found myself going, well, now what? And realizing that I needed more social interaction. Of course, then the pandemic came along and kind of ruined that for everybody. But what I found was, and what actually helped me replace that, was changing churches and going to one that is very friendly and outgoing and has lots of programs that actually focus on social interaction for spiritual reasons, but also for social continuity and having people that you can rely on and get to know. So you could join a book group or an art workshop or an art club or organization. I'm in a couple of those, and it's fun to hang around people who get you. You can sign up for a class in the community or a local college or even just private workshops. Or you can try group travel experiences for adults. And I've looked at some of these and gone, should I do that? I have gone on trips with groups before, and it's fun because you always have people that you can talk to and that you can do things with. New friends can inspire you and bring a fresh perspective to your life, and that's so valuable. Number 5 is it's good for your health. Staying active and curious isn't just fun. It's great for your physical and mental health. And we know from pandemic that a lot of people, the term mental health, I don't think is that great a term, because I think a lot of what we're calling mental health these days is actually emotional health. We're dealing with emotions and our emotional state much more than how our mental faculties are working. I'm not saying there's not such a thing as mental health, because we all know that it is, but I'm thinking more that a lot of things that we deal with are emotional health. So moving your body, using your mind, and engaging in creativity are all linked to better life and better aging. So things that you could try: taking an exercise class, something different like Tai Chi or mountain climbing. I have a sister-in-law who started mountain climbing in her 60s. And I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, you could explore nature photography or birding or just walking in nature. You could take a watercolor class. Doing things like that, like sketching, learning anything creative, is so good for stress relief. So if you find yourself really stressed, then it's probably something you might want to look into. Who says health and happiness can't go hand in hand? Number 6 is you're a role model. When you try new things, you show others, like your kids and your grandchildren and your friends, that it's never too late to grow and evolve. And I have 3 grandchildren, and I think that's pretty much all I'm going to get. I've got these children in my life who are at different stages, and it's so much fun to do things with them and show them what I can do. Because I have 2 studio spaces in my house, when my granddaughter comes, we do either a project together or I just give her some things to play with that she doesn't have at home and let her do it. You could learn something techie. Now, this is kind of a big one because I've worked with clients. I used to coach authors on how to write a book well, and I had certain clients who were older and had really amazing stories to tell about their lives, but they were so afraid of using the computer that it really held them back. And one client in particular refused to learn anything about a computer. He just refused. I found that just so self-defeating. Like, you just cut yourself off from a world of important and interesting things by staying in your little cocoon. That's just my feeling about it. The thing is, computers have become easier and easier to use, and things like Google and YouTube provide pretty much everything that you need to know. You might find that you really enjoy what you discover, like creating a blog or starting a YouTube channel. You could volunteer for a cause you care about, and thereby you'll be touching other people's lives in a really important way. Or you could mentor someone younger in something you already know. I mentored high school students in French. You probably know something that someone would want to learn. Your actions could inspire others to dream bigger and live fuller. Who knows? Reason number 7 is the best memories come from the new, which is really interesting. When you think about your favorite memories, chances are they came from doing something new or exciting. Our best memories in our family are from when we pulled up stakes and went to live in Europe. One of my life's dreams was to live in France. One thing after another, by making it a definite goal and starting to make plans, it actually happened. Because it was such a big thing that we pursued and achieved, those are the biggest memories, and it was something completely new to our lives. We had to deal with life in a foreign tongue, how life worked in a village in Provence. It makes life so much more interesting. So why not just keep adding to the list? And I'm doing that now just by going places. I love to travel. My most recent trips have been more local, but I went to, for example, Los Angeles in the springtime with my daughter to visit some museums, and that was the focus of the trip. And then in September, we went to Seattle to a rare book show because she was keen on that, and I'm open to it. So off we went and had a great time. So on your list of things you might want to try are to go ziplining or on a hot air balloon ride. I haven't been on a hot air balloon, but I'm certainly willing to try. I have been ziplining, and I would go again in a minute because it's just so much fun. And if you can't imagine yourself doing something like that, first start watching some videos of other people and then start imagining yourself in it. When you start imagining yourself in something, it makes it so much easier to step into it. Try taking a weekend trip somewhere you've never been. I'm always into that. And sometimes we've been to the place, but actually never gone to somewhere in the place. For example, my sister-in-law flew out for a little getaway with me last year, and we went to Victoria, British Columbia, where is not far from where I live, but you have to take a ferry because it's on Vancouver Island. And she wanted to go to the art gallery. And I was like, oh, I'd never been to the Victoria Art Gallery. That was something different. And we found different bookstores and ate at different restaurants. It was actually fun and different. Or you could host a theme party with friends. Now, I'm sure you can come up with lots of ideas for something new that are easy to do. I live in a small town, but we have a small museum here. The exhibits change fairly regularly, but do I go regularly? This is a reminder for me to go. Another thing you can do that's just different is take out different books from the library. If you're always taking out the same old thing, try something new. Every new experience becomes a story in your life, and it all becomes part of your whole life story. So remember, life doesn't have an expiration date on joy or adventure. You're not too old, and it's not too late. Pick one thing today that you've always wanted to try and take a first step today. I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments. What's that one thing that you're excited to try? Let's inspire each other. So until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and remember, you can try anything. As George Eliot, the author, once said, it's never too late to be what you might have been.